Hello, I'm Perry from Rennet and Rind, and I'm talking to you today, this month, so the month of, God, I forgot my months, August. So you would have received one of these boxes. We've been doing them now for years. It was originally started, Rennet and Rind, to help British cheesemakers in COVID, where everything was horrible, not only for the cheese industry, but everyone else. And, you know, coming up to, God, many years later, we're still doing the boxes. They're going great guns. Everyone loves the selections that we put together. We've opened a shop in Stamford. I became Britain's first ever Appeneur of the Year. That's what I do. That's what I'm known for. This is my maturing room. So I've got this one and two others over there and one over there. And this is where I mature all these cheeses. So these are all Baron Bigods, matured at specific profiles for certain customers. And yeah, I'm a world cheese judge as well. So I go around the country. I'm very fortunate and excited that I've been invited this year to the Guild of Fine Foods World Cheese Awards held in Portugal. So I'm going to be judging over 4,000 cheeses, not just myself, there's 250 judges. That's a lot of cheese even for me. Judging to find the best cheese in the world. It's a remarkable competition. Just Google Guild of Fine Food World Cheese Awards. I wrote a blog about it, but it's an amazing, amazing event. And but let's get on to the reason why you're here is so I can tell you why I selected these 5 cheeses. They're absolutely perfect for this month. And they're just meant to be the best that we kind of like have in these rooms as a collective. So in your box, you would have got obviously your 5 cheeses, your biscuits, you would have got a little cheese care guide, how to make your own mini maturing room in a temperature controlled fridge, and tasting notes. So if you've had enough of me already and my little plugs about the things that we've got going on in the world, then feel free to just read those. Yeah, so let's get stuck in. So our first cheese up that we have is Baron Bigod. Now guys, right, there's some cheeses that we've had in the monthly box over the last 4 months in this, right? But I always promise to give you the absolute best that Britain has to offer. And 3 of these cheeses, you know, have been in the box recently, you know, the last 4 months. This isn't a decision, you know, this isn't an idea that I'll give you new cheeses all the time. I'm just trying to create the best cheese experience for you. So someone came into the shop the other day, lovely wedding they've got going on, and said, can we do a little tasting, try out some cheeses? And essentially, it was pretty close to this. And I was like, these cheeses are absolutely perfect. They've got to go in the mystery box and everyone's got to share them. So first cheese up, let's get stuck in to the Baron Bigod. Now, it's a little bit cold in here, but so, you know, we're running around sort of 7 to 8 degrees, something like that. That's the perfect temperature that I like to keep these at, the Baron Bigods. And these are ranging, so this is them. I'll get them out. This isn't just a, you know, a show. So this is them, you know, in this form. This is what they come in. You know, you can get them in 3 kilo, 250. We love the 1 kilo because they're easy to kind of like turn and get good profiles going on. So yeah, and then we mature them in different racks for different profiles. Got some down here which are really light, so some below me which are like really fresh. This is borderline our profile free, which you guys absolutely love. We used to do multiple profiles in the shop, but profile free just really sung with people. So room temperature, guys, this is going to start to run, be really unctuous and oozy, a little bit colder for me, but don't worry, I'm a professional. I'll be able to tell you what it's meant to taste like. Glides, cuts through the knife absolutely perfectly. So, so we've got full breakdown. You know, that's the key that I'm looking for. In this board, I want to start off big. I don't want those light, fresher notes. There may be a touch, you know, I can't get everything perfect. You may get a touch of this, but predominantly I'm breaking down the interior so you get more savory, rich, more complex notes. Let's have a smell. Dairy, milk, little bit of savory, touch of beef, which is unusual. I wasn't expecting that. And then mushrooms, girolles, typical earthy from the kind of the penicillium rind that we've got on there. That's the bloom that's on there, you know? So let's have a taste. Beautiful texture. Glides round the mouth. Cabbage, that's at the forefront. Milky, competes with it, washes it away nicely. Then comes that little line of meaty beefiness, which is absolutely delicious. Then in the back, fresh mushrooms. So you're getting that kind of, open a punnet of mushrooms, you're getting that freshness. And then, God, the salt comes in and it just kind of lifts it up, makes it really exciting on the palate, lasts it and kind of like washes your own palate. Made by Johnny and Dulcie Crickmore in Suffolk, Bungay. I recently went to visit them. Go to our Instagram, Rennet and Rind. Go see this beautiful little calf that I saw. It's like such a stunning picture. The guys are doing amazing stuff over there. We sell their yogurts, their butter, their dedication to craft and quality is outstanding, and this is literally outstanding at the moment. And you'll be hard pressed to find a British cheese which is as good as that if you like Brie's. But I think I'm going to compete with the next four, so let's see how we go. So let's get out off our board. Dig in, guys. Feel free to pause and enjoy that. Say, oh God, Perry doesn't know what he's talking about, mushrooms. But yeah, palates are different for everyone. So, but I think I'm pretty bang on that. So the next cheese we have up is Isle of Mull. So Isle of Mull was in our box a couple of months ago, but it's just been sensational in terms of the cheddars that we have now available. This one and this profile that we have specifically in our stores back there is just killing it. You know, it's got such a beautiful aroma. It ticks the boxes of what cheddars, like what people like. So, you know, typical kind of, you getting that vibrancy that's in there, which is in the edge of fruit, kind of got that kind of pineapple, like tropical fruit kind of edge that's in there. A little bit parmesan-y, so a little bit butyrific, which some people may or may not like, but that comes with strength. Visually, we're getting some crystallization in there, not majorly, naturally forming. Nice rind, these are cloth bound, heavily larded. That's literally lard on the outside, which locks in that moisture, and you can mature a strong cheese for a long time with that moisture. Okay, enough talking about bits and bobs, let's give this a go. Always love chewy textures with cheddars. Opens up that palate. Little salt crunch that's in there. Nice, gentle beginning. Oh, this is a cheddar. That's what you're getting. Then drying, histamine, a little bit peppery. That fruitiness is kicking in the back. That tropical aroma note was right in the cheese. It's more aromatic, touch of herbaceous, finishes mineral, and it's not over actually. This is a long cheese. I thought it was diving down. Mine's going to be a little bit more curt. Remember, we're at 7 to 8 degrees here. So when you get that at room temperature, and then you know, now I'm getting that pepperiness, that histamine kind of hit that's in the back that you get with parmesans and things like that. Slight, pleasant burn, if that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, delicious. And I know you guys might think I say this every month. And some months I don't. Some months I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, you can't predict artisan cheese and where it's going to be. That's the great thing about artisan cheese. They're almost like collectibles. You can go back and say, I had this really nice batch in July of Baron Bigod or Isle of Mull, and it probably won't be the same. We've got many customers that are almost like collectibles that call in and say, you know, Perry, is the young buck, brilliant Northern Irish cheese made by Mike's Fancy Cheese, phenomenal cheesemaker. Is it back to the Christmas profile? And that's what's amazing about British cheese. It changes all the time. You know, you get vintages in wine, you get vintages in cheese, but it's up to you to remember what vintages they are and try and compare them and lock those tasting notes in the brain. Anyway, onto this little Pac-Man. I'm sorry, I realised I did that. This is Driftwood, modelled on a St. Maur kind of style. Roger Longman, amazing cheesemaker from White Lake Cheeses, is always innovating, eventing. I mean, he's bringing out a couple of new cheeses in the next couple of months that we're really excited about. So this is goat. You can see that from the pure whites of those who haven't watched the video before. That is because when ruminants munch on their grass, the goats absorb the colour as nutrition, where cows don't. So that kind of gets passed through the milk, and that's why you get that little yellowy tinge. That's how you can mainly tell that it's a goat's cheese. On the outside, unusual rind, right? Yes, ash. So back in the day when they were taking their cheeses to market, it all get bashed up on the cobbled rows because they're really delicate rind. They throw ash over the top just to hide those imperfections. Now we've worked out as a great way to balance pH. Really acidic milk, really acidic lactic set, really brings that kind of alkaline down, which is amazing. Aroma, you're getting a little bit of goat there. Not like horrible soapiness, you're getting, it's just letting you know where it's come from. And then push that to one side, and you're getting floral flowers, slight bit of kind of like peppery kind ofness, but only really slight. And then maybe some kind of walnut skins, kind of the skins of something that's a little bit bitter. Let's have a taste. Texture, so light. Nice zip. Zip right at the front, disappears. Then you're just into really good milk. Great quality milk. You're getting that, the The texture is tacky, almost mousse-like, which is a nice difference from the Free. I always say everyone thinks you should consider types, but texture is really important for me to get for you guys. So you have a different experience on the mouthfeel throughout the board. So nice neutralizing, the alkaline kind of acidity that's in there, that kind of spritz kind of element that goes through, really neutralizes the palate, coats it well. It's like having a glass of milk and you've got that kind of covering remaining. Delicious. A lovely, pleasant cheese. Nothing too crazy, but I think goat's cheese people will go mad over this. That'd be amazing. Next cheese up. I'm very proud of myself at the moment. I would have those cheeses any day. They're in their best shape like this month, which is just incredible. Next cheese up. A couple of months ago, we had Kirkham's Lancashire in the box. I said that I think these Kirkham's Lancashire that we've got over here, hold fire, these Kirkham's Lancashire from Graham, I think possibly, and I've been debating it for 2 months, maybe the best cheese I've ever cut open. There is just so much perfection in the way this cheese is made. I absolutely love it. And I just needed to give you guys more of it. I just needed, you know, to just say, those who haven't experienced it need to experience it to really get into raw milk Lancashire. It's our last remaining raw milk Lancashire made in the UK. And I just think it's such a treat. When you have Lancashire, it can feel a little bit bland, to be honest. But when you really get into a great batch, that's when you appreciate the nuances of some of our oldest heritage cheeses that we have in the UK, and this should be totally protected. And Graham is an absolute superstar, and the Kirkham's family are as well. So lovely cut on it, great colour. We want to see that slightly higher yellow, you know, in comparison. Don't know if we can see that. You know, that's indicating to me that there's more moisture going on, more moisture that's in the cheese. So we're going to get a fresher experience. We're feeling a little bit drier after, you know, that kind of goat dissipates. So we want to hit it with a little bit of minerality, freshness, like a tall glass of water. Aroma, beautiful raw butter, cream, acidity. Kind of tells you the way it's going to play. Let's have a taste. Texture is so smooth. It's tricked me again. I thought there'd be a slight crumble to this. It's unbelievably smooth. So refreshing. That milkiness that it has is just only unique to Kirkham's, I feel. That aroma kind of hit that lifts it up. Touch of the savoury. Everything's all the flavours we had before, just gently dialed down and perfectly like melded together, which is phenomenal. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I wish I could like go on with notes. I think just this cheese you're getting in your box. If you do not like it, then you won't like a Lancashire, because this is the most perfect example of it. Kirkham's Lancashire, raw milk, amazing. Final cheese up, our very own, the Duke. So yeah, like I felt like I wanted to cap end with this, with the smoother textures that were there. And this cheese, it gets made by Coat Hill. We do a little bit of maturing in our own rooms, a very affinage PC way of maturing cheese. But we noticed in the early days of getting this cheese made by Mary and the Davenports, let's just collect them as a family, because Joe and Ross, and they were all amazing. Yeah, one thing we do with this is that it has a second way. So we brought it into our maturing rooms, and we noticed a lot of leaking that was happening around the kind of 1 week to 2.5 week old with us. So we're doing a very specific technique, which is essentially trying to keep that moisture locked in. You know, these rooms, they're high humidity, because that's where we want them. We don't want our cheeses losing too much moisture, but we also want to ultra retain it with these. So let me show you what I'll do. I'll be back in a sec. Hopefully my mic doesn't cut out. I can just keep on talking. These are just sealed, completely sealed, and a little trick that we like to call cling film. Now, most of the time we don't recommend it, but we're maturing them like this, because this just means zero moisture is getting out of this cheese in this temperature. That aids the speed. These are like mini reactors, so they're not losing temperature in these rooms. They're heating up a little bit more, and we get a beautiful breakdown with the cheese. Now, what we love about our Duke specifically is that it really lends itself to one specific note, which most people don't like. If I state it up front, people don't like it, but anyway, that I can already feel that bitter note. That's what I'm talking about. That bitter note is very predominant in that. Some people classify that as the blue note. It's kind of very penicillium. It's that's the only way I can describe it. Now, if you pair that perfectly with cream and high moisture, that should deliver down and be a little bit more easier. And with the cling film, we're literally destroying that bitter note that's on the rind. We're kind of washing it internally as it was. Let's have a taste. Texture, claggy, smooth, zip, salty, acidity, challenging, very, very different in that area of that bitterness. So like a lovely pint of wherry, and it's delicious. It's delicious. It's a blue lover's blue, I think. People who love bitter stuff are gonna love this. This will be a bit of a challenge for people, but we want to push some boundaries. But I love it. It really bookends this amazing cheese board together. You've got that smoothness, that slight biscuity that you would expect from cheeses, of this style. But you've got that smoothness that comes in from a Brie, but it's not as perfected as like a Cambozola. It's not going to please everyone, but that's what artisan cheese is. And guys, that's your 5 cheeses from me. And I really think this is just so special. So yeah, leave us a review. Tell us what you think. Come visit us in the shop. We've got these amazing new cheese knives that are available online. We've got new boards. We're really getting some of our merchandise out there because people wanted to use the stuff that we use, so we started to do that. We're launching drinks online now. We've got some amazing ciders from Tom Oliver, the godfather of cider. We've launched pairings on the pavement outside the shop, so you can come and try some weird and wonderful combinations that I've learned over the last 13 years. Oh, there's that knife I was talking about. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting our independent business and the British artisan cheese industry. Down with the corporates, more artisan cheese. Keep on going. Thank you.